Okay, this video is going to help you understand how to do the first assignment called the Figure 1 assignment. So what we're trying to do with this assignment really is teach you guys how to present the data, the DNA gel data that you have obtained in lab 4. So this week in lab, you guys obtained a DNA gel picture of the isolated P-glow DNA plasmid that you isolated in previous lab. Now, this is how scientists communicate their finding, is they make that picture into an understandable figure. They're helping the audience understand, I ran a gel, there is a ladder with known size. In this case, they're labeling out how to read the ladder. They didn't label every single band, but from this you can tell the bigger ones are on top, the smaller ones are on bottom. In their way, they label what's in each lane. And then they have a title down here, which is bolded, and it tells you which figure it is in their report and some details about it. So we're trying to do similar things. So how do we do this? We start by inserting the picture that you have obtained. So each of you should have the picture. Once you have the picture, the rubric says you need to have it cropped to the border so that the whole gel is seen. So then double click on it, click on crop, and then crop it to the border. Okay, so the whole gel is seen. So that's easy. Once you have that done, what's next? Is the DNA ladder labeled properly? So how do you begin to label these ladder? First thing, you can go to shape, and then you're going to draw out the first band. Once you have that, you can copy and paste it. So for me, that's just Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to put the line exactly where the band is. Control C, Control V again. And I'm going to do it for every single one of this. I'm not going to show you every single one of this, but I'm going to show you a few, okay? So as you can see, I'm driving them together. Now, the next step is you collect all of these bands, and then you move them all the way to one side of the gel. It can be on this side, it can be on the other side. Okay, either way works. Moving it on this side because it's closer and it's easier to read in this way. Now, the next thing is you need to label all the band with the correct size and with the right unit. So how do I know how big these bands are? That's the next page on your lab manual. It tells you the bottom one, this really faint one, is 250 base pair. Okay, so you're going to then do insert and then a text box, and then choose the text box, put it next to it, and then write 250 base pair. Now, this might be too big, okay? So you can select it and then just make it smaller. So then it'll fit. And then now you can use the arrow bar on your computer to move it around. And the next one is 500. So all I did is I selected the 250, Control C, Control V, and then I can do 500. How do I know it's 500? Because I look over here. It says 500 is the second one above 250. Now, another problem arises. This looks kind of to the left. That one is to the right, or sometimes it's like this, right? So they don't look aligned. So once you have a lot and they look all over the place, one thing you can do is select all the ones and then go to Format and then choose this guy. It says Align Object, and then you can say Align Center, and it'll all center together, okay? So for example, while you're drawing the line, it's like all over the place, right? Like some are on the right, some are on the left. The most important thing is okay if they're on the left or on the right, but as long as they're at the right level, right? So this one is at the right level of this one, except they're all over the place. So what I can do is I can select all of them, okay? And then again, go to Align, and then say Align Center. And then now they're all centered. So it'll look nice. Okay, so let's come back to the rubric. I have finished this. I made sure they're the right size, they're base pair. So you need to do it for all of this. I'm just not showing you guys on every single one of this, but you can do that on your own. Is every lane specified with lane number and what sample was loaded on the lane? How do you do that one? You come back and you say, oh, lane 1, practice sample. Perfect. Then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert another text box, right? And I'm going to say lane 1, practice sample. Okay? And that's supposed to be this very first lane. You're going to see this. You're going to then turn it, and then you can move it over. And obviously, you need more room. So then I'm just going to select this and then move it down so that I actually have space for it. Okay. If you don't have space for it, another thing you can do is you're going to select all of this and then just make it smaller, like so. So that's for the font. Okay. Right? And then now you have lane 1, practice sample. And then you can do lane 2, right? Right here. Practice sample again. Sorry. Right? And then you're like, oh, it's out of whack again. Okay, you can select all of them and then do the align again. So remember, that's format. And then you're going to say, I want to align in the middle or the top or bottom. Let's do the bottom. And they're all going to come down to this. So you can label all this. What is in here, right? Lane 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is marker. So you're going to label marker. What is in this? You're not going to write group 1. You're going to either say our partner or yours. You can say our plasmid right here or our partner's plasmid. Okay, so that means what's in here is your plasmid. Okay. After doing that, you're going to have an arrow pointing to your group's isolated plasmid DNA. So you're going to show me, do you know how to read this? As you can see in this picture, they have an arrow pointing to exactly the DNA they isolated. So we want same thing. Can you point to it, right? And then so I want you to draw an arrow either towards this one or this one. Which one is yours? And do you know how to read this? What is the size of it? So that's coming next. So you need an arrow pointing to yours. Then you're going to start typing your figure legend. So again, you're going to say insert text box and then right here, and you're going to write figure 1, right? And a title, your title. And you're going to make sure that all of this is bolded. Okay, so right here, is it bolded? Well, you see titles are always bolded. And then you can have your content down here that's not bolded. So you're going to unclick this and then you're going to type your content down here. Okay. And what do you need to write in there? Does the figure legend mention the method, right? It's a summary, 1 to 2 sentence summary of how was the plasmid isolated. Then 1 to 2 sentence of what samples were loaded in each lane. So you can summarize like lane 1 through 4, we loaded practice sample, which is made of water and dye, right? So you can go back and summarize using this. Lane 5 and 7, we loaded marker. Lane 6 is our plasmid, right? So summarize it. What is the purpose and result, right? What are we doing? What are we trying to verify? Talk about it. Why are we running this? Remember when we first isolated our DNA, we couldn't see it. We don't know if you actually got your DNA. So we ran a gel to verify that. Okay, so utilize this sentence and try to fill in. As seen in which lane do you see how big of a base pair, right, corresponding to your plasmid, right? So can you estimate the size? Can you use the ladder around it to know how big this is? Overall, then make sure it's streamlined. People can understand. Are you summarizing things or are you just giving me little details about the method? Do you really understand what we did? And then make sure you label it and align things so it's not, like one up, one down, and this is not all over the place. And that's it. And then you're done.